Lethargic. Lethargic. Meaning: people who feel lack of energy or lack of interest in doing things. Practical use: I felt lethargic after the long flight. Capricious. Capricious. Meaning: changing quickly and unpredictably. Practical use: his capricious behavior kept everyone on edge. Impeccable. Impeccable. Meaning: flawless or perfect. Practical use: her performance was impeccable. Purport. Purport. Meaning: to claim that something is true, but without proof. Practical use: the report purports to be objective, but its bias is clear. Catastrophe. Catastrophe. Meaning: an utter failure or sudden tragic event. Practical use: despite her careful planning, the party turned out to be a catastrophe. Amiable. Amiable. Meaning: friendly and agreeable. Practical use: she has an amiable personality that makes everyone feel at ease. Respite. Respite. Meaning: a short break or relief from something difficult or unpleasant. Practical use: after a long week of work, the weekend provided a much-needed respite. Cardinal. Cardinal. Meaning: fundamental or essential. Practical use: understanding the basics is cardinal to mastering any new skill. Clandestine. Clandestine. Meaning: secretive or hidden, often because it is illicit or unauthorized. Practical use: the agents held a clandestine meeting to discuss their covert operation. Supersede. Supersede. Meaning: to replace or take the place of something that is outdated or no longer effective. Practical use: the new policy will supersede the old regulations starting next month. Belligerent. Belligerent. Meaning: hostile and aggressive. Practical use: the belligerent customer argued loudly with the store manager. Abscond. Abscond. Meaning: to leave hurriedly and secretly, typically to avoid detection or arrest. Practical use: the thief decided to abscond with the stolen jewels in the middle of the night. Nefarious. Nefarious. Meaning: wicked or criminal. Practical use: the nefarious plan to sabotage the company was discovered by the security team. Tantamount. Tantamount. Meaning: equivalent in seriousness to, virtually the same as. Practical use: his refusal to apologize was tantamount to admitting guilt. Commensurate. Commensurate. Meaning: corresponding in size or degree, in proportion. Practical use: her salary is commensurate with her level of experience and responsibilities. Germane. Germane. Meaning: relevant to a subject under consideration. Practical use: the professor's lecture was germane to the topics we were studying for the exam. Harbinger. Harbinger. Meaning: a person or thing that announces or signals the approach of another. Practical use: the arrival of the first robin is often seen as a harbinger of spring. Luminous. Luminous. Meaning: full of or shedding light, bright or shining, especially in the dark. Practical use: the moon was especially luminous on that clear, starry night. Nonplussed. Nonplussed. Meaning: Surprised and confused so much that one is unsure how to react. Practical use. I was completely nonplussed by the sudden change in plans. Opulent. Opulent. Meaning. Ostentatiously rich and luxurious or lavish. Practical use. The palace was filled with opulent decorations and furnishings. Precarious. Precarious. Meaning. Not securely held or in position, dangerously likely to fall or collapse. Practical use. The stack of boxes was precarious and threatened to fall over at any moment. Reverent. Reverent. Meaning. Feeling or showing deep and solemn respect. Practical use. The crowd listened reverently as the leader spoke about the national hero. Soporific. Soporific. Meaning. Tending to induce drowsiness or sleep. Practical use. The sound of the rain was soporific, making it hard to stay awake. Tenuous. Tenuous. Meaning. Very weak or slight, insubstantial. Practical use. The connection between the two events was tenuous at best, with only a few similarities. Meticulous. Meticulous. Meaning. Showing great attention to detail, very careful and precise. Practical use. She is meticulous in her work, double-checking every detail before submitting it. Unequivocal. Unequivocal. Meaning. Leaving no doubt, unambiguous. Practical use. Her response was unequivocal, she would not be attending the meeting. Venerable. Venerable. Meaning. Accorded a great deal of respect, especially because of age, wisdom, or character. Practical use. The venerable professor was admired by all his students for his years of wisdom and experience. Xenophobic. Xenophobic. Meaning. Having or showing a dislike of or prejudice against people from other countries. Practical use. The xenophobic comments made by the politician sparked widespread criticism. Benevolent. Benevolent. Meaning. Well-meaning and kindly. Practical use. The benevolent donor contributed a large sum to support the local charity. Cognizant. Cognizant. Meaning. Having knowledge or awareness of something. Practical use. She was cognizant of the risks involved before making her decision. Impetuous. Impetuous. Meaning. Acting or done quickly and without thought or care, impulsive. Practical use. His impetuous decision to quit his job without a backup plan led to many problems. Jubilant. Jubilant. Meaning. Feeling or expressing great happiness and triumph. Practical use. The team was jubilant after winning the championship game. Kaleidoscopic. Kaleidoscopic. Meaning. Rapidly changing in a colorful or complex pattern. Practical use. The festival featured kaleidoscopic lights that changed colors and patterns throughout the night. Nebulous. Nebulous. Meaning. In the form of a cloud or haze, hazy, vague or ill-defined. Practical use. His explanation was so nebulous that no one could understand his point. Pernicious. Pernicious. Meaning. Having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. Practical use. The pernicious effects of the new policy were evident in the increasing number of complaints. Sublime. Sublime. Meaning. Of such excellence, grandeur, or beauty as to inspire great admiration or awe. Practical use. The view from the mountaintop was absolutely sublime, leaving us in awe. Vicarious. Vicarious. Meaning. Experienced in the imagination through the feelings or actions of another person. Practical use. She lived vicariously through her friends' adventures and felt as if she were experiencing them herself. Xenial. Xenial. Meaning. Hospitable or friendly, especially to guests or strangers. Practical use. The host was xenial, making sure all the guests felt welcome and comfortable. Acumen. Acumen. Meaning. The ability to make good judgments and quick decisions, typically in a particular domain. Practical use. Her business acumen was evident in the way she quickly turned the failing company around. Brevity. Brevity. Meaning. Concise and exact use of words in writing or speech. Practical use. The brevity of his speech made it more impactful and memorable. Languid. Languid. Meaning. Weak or faint from illness or fatigue, displaying or having a disinclination for physical exertion or effort. Practical use. After the long hike, I felt languid and needed to rest. Turbulent. Turbulent. Meaning. Characterized by conflict, disorder, or confusion, not controlled or calm. Practical use. The plane experienced turbulent weather during the storm. Unfathomable. Unfathomable. Meaning. Incapable of being fully explored or understood. Practical use. The depth of the ocean is unfathomable to most people. Zealous. Zealous. Meaning. Having or showing great energy or enthusiasm in pursuit of a cause or an objective. Practical use. She was zealous about her new project, working on it day and night. Disparate. Disparate. Meaning. Essentially different in kind, not allowing comparison. Practical use. The two reports were disparate, with one focusing on financial data and the other on market trends. Ebullient. Ebullient. Meaning. Cheerful and full of energy, bubbling with enthusiasm. Practical use. The crowd was ebullient after the team's victory, cheering loudly. Flabbergasted. Flabbergasted. Meaning. Extremely surprised or shocked. Practical use. I was flabbergasted when I heard the news of his unexpected resignation. Garrulous. Garrulous. Meaning. Excessively talkative, especially on trivial matters. Practical use. The garrulous neighbor talked non-stop about his vacation. Insidious. Insidious. Meaning. Proceeding in a gradual, subtle way, but with harmful effects. Practical use. The disease was insidious, spreading slowly without noticeable symptoms. Juxtaposition. Juxtaposition. Meaning. The act of placing things side by side for comparison or contrast. Practical use. The juxtaposition of the modern art piece against the historical backdrop was striking. Languor. Languor. Meaning. The state of feeling, often pleasant, of tiredness or inertia. Practical use. The languor of a lazy afternoon made the whole day seem endless. Ostentatious. Ostentatious. Meaning. Feeling or showing deep and solemn respect. Practical use. His ostentatious display of wealth included a gold-plated car and a huge mansion. Reprehensible. Reprehensible. Meaning. Deserving condemnation or criticism. Practical use. The judge deemed the defendant's actions reprehensible and sentenced him accordingly. Cacophony. Cacophony. Meaning. A harsh, discordant mixture of sounds. Practical use. The cacophony of car horns during rush hour was unbearable. Didactic. Didactic. Meaning. Intended to teach or instruct, often in a moralizing manner. Practical use. The teacher's didactic approach aimed to not only educate but also to moralize. Misanthrope. Misanthrope. Meaning. A person who dislikes or distrusts other people. Practical use. The misanthrope preferred solitude and avoided social gatherings because he distrusted people. Nonchalant. Nonchalant. Meaning. Appearing calm and relaxed, not displaying anxiety, interest, or enthusiasm. Practical use. Despite the chaotic situation, she remained nonchalant and handled everything calmly. Gregarious. Gregarious. Meaning. Fond of company, sociable. Practical use. His gregarious nature made him the life of every party, always surrounded by friends. Inexorable. Inexorable. Meaning. Impossible to stop or prevent, relentless. Practical use. The inexorable march of time means we all must face the inevitable changes in life. Mendacious. Mendacious. Meaning. Not telling the truth, lying. Practical use. His mendacious statements about his achievements were soon discovered to be false. Panacea. Panacea. Meaning. A solution or remedy for all problems or difficulties. Practical use. Many people believe that a good education is a panacea for social inequality, though it is not a complete solution. Winsome. Winsome. Meaning. Attractive or appealing in a fresh, innocent way. Practical use. Her winsome smile and friendly demeanor quickly won everyone over at the party. Aegis. Aegis. Meaning. Protection or support, sponsorship. Practical use. Under the aegis of the new charity, the community center was renovated and expanded. Hegemony. Hegemony. Meaning. Leadership or dominance, especially by one country or social group over others. Practical use. The country sought to establish hegemony over its neighbors through economic influence. Impetuous. Impetuous. Meaning. Acting or done quickly and without thought or care, impulsive. Practical use. His impetuous decision to quit his job without a backup plan led to many difficulties. Noxious. Noxious. Meaning. Harmful, poisonous, or very unpleasant. Practical use. The noxious fumes from the factory were affecting the health of nearby residents. Aplomb. Aplomb. Meaning. Self-confidence or assurance, especially when in a demanding situation. Practical use. She answered the challenging questions with aplomb, impressing everyone in the room. Enervate. Enervate. Meaning. To weaken or drain of energy. Practical use. The long, tedious meeting served only to enervate everyone involved. Fervent. Fervent. Meaning. Having or displaying a passionate intensity. Practical use. Her fervent dedication to environmental causes was evident in all her volunteer work. Malleable. Malleable. Meaning. Capable of being shaped or bent, easily influenced. Practical use. The metal was malleable, allowing it to be molded into intricate designs. Debilitate. Debilitate. Meaning, to make someone very weak and infirm. Usage, the illness debilitated him to the point where he could barely get out of bed. Furtive. Furtive. Meaning, attempting to avoid notice or attention, typically because of guilt or a belief that discovery would lead to trouble. Usage, he cast a furtive glance around the room to see if anyone was watching him. Ineffable. Ineffable. Meaning, too great or extreme to be expressed or described in words. Usage, the beauty of the sunset was ineffable, words couldn't capture its grandeur. Mellifluous. Mellifluous. Meaning, sweet or musical, pleasant to hear. Usage, her mellifluous voice was soothing and made the evening feel magical. Conundrum. Conundrum. Meaning, a confusing and difficult problem or question. Usage, solving the budget deficit presented a real conundrum for the city council. Gregarious. Gregarious. Meaning, fond of company, sociable. Usage, his gregarious nature made him popular at social gatherings. Mundane. Mundane. Meaning, lacking interest or excitement, dull. Usage, he was tired of the mundane routine of his daily job and longed for adventure. Nonchalant. Nonchalant. Meaning, feeling or appearing casually calm and relaxed, not displaying anxiety, interest, or enthusiasm. Usage, she gave a nonchalant shrug when asked about the problem, indicating it was no big deal. Resilient. Resilient. Meaning, able to recover quickly from difficult conditions. Usage, the community proved to be resilient in the face of the natural disaster, rebuilding quickly. Trepidation. Trepidation. Meaning, a feeling of fear or agitation about something that may happen. Usage, she approached the job interview with trepidation, worried about how it would go. Dilapidated. Dilapidated. Meaning, in a state of disrepair or ruin as a result of age or neglect. Usage, the old, dilapidated house at the end of the street had been abandoned for years. Munificent. Munificent. Meaning, more generous than is usual or necessary. Usage, the munificent donation to the hospital was greatly appreciated by the staff and patients. Circumspect. Circumspect. Meaning, wary and unwilling to take risks, cautious. Usage, she was circumspect about discussing her future plans with her colleagues. Abrogate. Abrogate. Meaning, to repeal or do away with, a law, right, or formal agreement. Usage, the new government decided to abrogate the outdated regulations. Banal. Banal. Meaning, so lacking in originality as to be obvious and boring. Usage, the film's plot was so banal that it failed to captivate the audience. Heterogeneous. Heterogeneous. Meaning, diverse in character or content. Usage, the student body at the international school is very heterogeneous. Iconoclast. Iconoclast. Meaning, a person who attacks or criticizes cherished beliefs or institutions. Usage, the iconoclast challenged traditional views on education with innovative theories. Oblivious. Oblivious. Meaning, not aware of or concerned about what is happening around one. Usage, she was oblivious to the commotion in the room as she was deeply absorbed in her book. Perfunctory. Perfunctory. Meaning, carried out with a minimum of effort or reflection. Usage, his apology seemed perfunctory, lacking genuine remorse. Rescind. Rescind. Meaning, to revoke, cancel, or repeal, a law, order, or agreement. Usage, the company decided to rescind the job offer after discovering discrepancies in the candidate's resume. Stalwart. Stalwart. Meaning, loyal, reliable, and hardworking, also, a person who is loyal and committed. Usage, she was a stalwart supporter of the cause, always present at meetings and fundraisers. Wheedle. Wheedle. Meaning, to use flattery or coaxing to persuade someone to do something. Usage, she tried to wheedle a favor from her friend by complimenting her new dress. Dichotomy. Dichotomy. Meaning, a division or contrast between two things that are represented as being entirely different. Usage, the novel explores the dichotomy between wealth and poverty in the city. Eloquent. Eloquent. Meaning, fluent or persuasive in speaking or writing. Usage, her eloquent speech about civil rights moved the audience deeply. Indomitable. Indomitable. Meaning, impossible to subdue or defeat. Usage, her indomitable spirit kept her going through all the challenges she faced. Obscure. Obscure. Meaning, not discovered or known about, uncertain. Usage, the origins of the ancient manuscript remain obscure despite extensive research. Polemical. Polemical. Meaning, relating to or involving strongly critical or controversial writing or speech. Usage, the politician's polemical speech divided the audience into opposing camps. Reverberate. Reverberate. Meaning, to echo or resound repeatedly. Usage, the sound of the applause reverberated through the hall long after the performance ended. Sanguine. Sanguine. Meaning, optimistic or positive, especially in an apparently bad or difficult situation. Usage, she remained sanguine about the company's prospects despite recent setbacks. Fecund. Fecund. Meaning, capable of producing an abundance of offspring or new growth, fertile. Usage, the fecund soil was perfect for growing a wide variety of crops. Xenophobic. Xenophobic. Meaning, having a fear or dislike of people from other countries. Usage, xenophobic attitudes can contribute to social tension and discrimination. Aesthetic. Aesthetic. Meaning, concerned with beauty or the appreciation of beauty, also, a set of principles underlying and guiding the work of a particular artist or artistic movement. Usage, the design of the building was praised for its aesthetic appeal and innovative use of space. Cognizance. Cognizance. Meaning, knowledge, awareness, or notice. Usage, the judge took cognizance of the defendant's previous offenses during the sentencing. Decorous. Decorous. Meaning, in keeping with good taste and propriety, polite and restrained. Usage, the decorous behavior of the guests was appreciated by the hosts. Maverick. Maverick. Meaning, an independent-minded person who does not go along with a group or party. Usage, the maverick entrepreneur broke away from conventional business practices to pursue his own vision. Redolent. Redolent. Meaning, strongly reminiscent or suggestive of something, also, having a pleasant smell. Usage, the kitchen was redolent with the aroma of freshly baked bread. Avarice. Avarice. Meaning, extreme greed for wealth or material gain. Usage, his avarice led him to make unethical decisions to increase his fortune. Disconsolate. Disconsolate. Meaning, without consolation or comfort, unhappy. Usage, she felt disconsolate after the loss of her beloved pet. Lament. Lament. Meaning, a passionate expression of grief or sorrow. Usage, she wrote a heartfelt lament for her late friend. Melancholy. Melancholy. Meaning, a deep, persistent sadness or sorrow. Usage, the melancholy music perfectly captured the mood of the scene. Byzantine. Byzantine. Meaning, excessively complicated, typically involving a great deal of administrative detail, also relating to the Byzantine Empire. Usage, the Byzantine regulations made it difficult for businesses to navigate the legal requirements. Clamor. Clamor. Meaning, a loud and confused noise, especially that of people shouting, also, a strong and passionate protest. Usage, the clamor of the protesters filled the streets as they demanded change. Dissonance. Dissonance. Meaning, lack of harmony among musical notes, also, a disagreement or conflict. Usage, the dissonance in their arguments revealed a deep-seated disagreement. Ephemeral. Ephemeral. Meaning, lasting for a very short time. Usage, the beauty of the sunset was ephemeral, fading as quickly as it appeared. Furtive. Furtive. Meaning, attempting to avoid notice or attention, typically because of guilt or a belief that discovery would lead to trouble, secretive. Usage, he cast a furtive glance around the room before slipping the letter into his pocket. Laconic. Laconic. Meaning, using very few words, concise to the point of seeming rude or mysterious. Usage, his laconic response to the question left everyone wondering about his true feelings. Paucity. Paucity. Meaning, the presence of something in only small or insufficient quantities or amounts, scarcity. Usage, there was a paucity of information on the subject, making it hard to conduct research. Reclusive. Reclusive. Meaning, avoiding the company of other people, solitary. Usage, the reclusive author rarely attended public events or interacted with fans. Turbulent. Turbulent. Meaning, characterized by conflict, disorder, or confusion, not controlled or calm. Usage, the turbulent political climate made it difficult to predict the country's future. Utopian. Utopian. Meaning, modeled on or aiming for a state in which everything is perfect, idealistic. Usage, the author's utopian vision of society was both inspiring and unrealistic. Wary. Wary. Meaning, feeling or showing caution about possible dangers or problems. Usage, he was wary of the new business partner's promises, given his past behavior. Genteel. Genteel. Meaning, polite, refined, or respectable, often in an affected or ostentatious way. Usage, the genteel manners of the host were evident in the way he treated his guests. Jovial. Jovial. Meaning, cheerful and friendly. Usage, his jovial demeanor made him a favorite at social gatherings. Palpable. Palpable. Meaning, able to be touched or felt, also, so intense as to be almost touched or felt. Usage, there was a palpable sense of excitement in the air before the concert. Tantalizing. Tantalizing. Meaning, exciting one's senses or desires, tempting. Usage, the tantalizing aroma of fresh-baked cookies filled the kitchen. Uptick. Uptick. Meaning, an increase or improvement. Usage, there was an uptick in sales following the new marketing campaign. Accolade. Accolade. Meaning, an award or privilege granted as a special honor or as an acknowledgement of merit. Usage: she received numerous accolades for her groundbreaking research in medicine. Deleterious. Deleterious. Meaning: causing harm or damage. Usage: the deleterious effects of pollution on health are well documented. Effervescent. Effervescent. Meaning: giving off bubbles, fizzy, also, enthusiastic and lively. Usage: her effervescent personality made her the life of every party. Fastidious. Fastidious. Meaning: very attentive to and concerned about accuracy in detail, also, hard to please. Usage: the fastidious editor scrutinized every word of the manuscript. Ineffable. Ineffable. Meaning: too great or extreme to be expressed or described in words. Usage: the beauty of the sunrise over the mountains was ineffable. Lugubrious. Lugubrious. Meaning: looking or sounding sad and dismal. Usage: the lugubrious music matched the somber mood of the film. Mirth. Mirth. Meaning: great joy, amusement, or happiness. Usage: the room was filled with mirth as everyone laughed at the comedian's jokes. Quagmire. Quagmire. Meaning: a soft boggy area of land that gives way underfoot, also, a complex or hazardous situation. Usage: the negotiations turned into a quagmire of legal and financial disputes. Trepidation. Trepidation. Meaning: a feeling of fear or agitation about something that may happen. Usage: she approached the job interview with a sense of trepidation. Arcane. Arcane. Meaning: understood by few, mysterious or secret. Usage: the arcane rituals of the ancient society were only known to a select few. Corroborate. Corroborate. Meaning: to confirm or give support to a statement, theory, or finding. Usage: the witness's testimony helped corroborate the defendant's alibi. Fervor. Fervor. Meaning: intense and passionate feeling. Usage: the activists spoke with fervor about their cause, urging others to join their movement. Discrepancy. Discrepancy. Meaning: a lack of compatibility or similarity between two or more facts. Usage: the discrepancy between the two financial reports raised concerns during the audit. Nostalgia. Nostalgia. Meaning: a sentimental longing for the past, typically for a period or place with happy personal associations. Usage: the old photographs evoked a sense of nostalgia for the days of his youth. Obdurate. Obdurate. Meaning: stubbornly refusing to change one's opinion or course of action. Usage: despite numerous pleas, the obdurate manager refused to reconsider his decision. Infallible. Infallible. Meaning: incapable of making mistakes or being wrong. Usage: the expert was highly regarded, but even he was not infallible. Nimble. Nimble. Meaning: quick and light in movement or action, agile. Usage: the nimble gymnast performed a series of intricate routines with grace and precision. Opaque. Opaque. Meaning: not able to be seen through, not transparent, also, hard to understand. Usage: the instructions were written in opaque language, making them difficult to follow. Paradoxical. Paradoxical. Meaning: seemingly absurd or self-contradictory but possibly true. Usage: it was paradoxical that such a brilliant scientist could be so poor at managing his finances. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. You are awesome. Check out our playlist of all vocabulary lessons at one place.